Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well, Miss Kirby. How are you enjoying your summer?
It's busy.
I would say so. A little stressed, I would imagine.
Well, the school side of it is not busy because it's more like we're waiting,
Right.
to find out.
It's just the home thing, right?
Right. I just bought a house.
Oh,
So
wow.
last week I took a vacation so that I could move into my house.
Mm,
So trying to get things situated.
understood.
Okay. Hi, Kathleen.
Hi.
I'm in the new house.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I have better lighting. I'm so excited.
Awesome.
Yeah, for a while there, Travis, I was staying with my parents.
Oh, okay. It's about all you need. It's about all you need to say.
Okay, I love them, but from afar. I love them. I do. But yeah, so I'm in the house. Haven't finished decorating, so I'm really excited to do that.
Great.
Okay, so it looks like we have a lot, but we really don't. It's kind of like the information to kick off our year.
Right.
Things that we have, required to do at the beginning.
Do we need to scan? Well, I know we'll get into this. Do we need to scan our certificate?
Yes, and,
Yeah, and I would
send it
assume.
to me. So yes, if you like this week sometime, if you can get it to me, I'll
get to you
upload
after this
it
meeting.
into. Okay. Hi, Shelly. How are you?
Good. Are you in your
Good.
new house?
I am. This is the office. There's nothing on the walls yet, but hey, it's working. A lot of space. I get lost. I lost Abby in the house. I couldn't find her. We kept walking around. She was like, I'm in the living room, and I'm following her, and then she comes into the kitchen. I'm like, where'd you go? So that's a good problem, I guess, to have, huh? First world problems.
Yeah, seriously. I wish I could lose some of my kids in my house. So,
Well, your kids are bigger.
Well,
So
yeah.
they're gonna find you. Yeah. So let's see. We have 3 people, so we almost have a quorum. Well, technically we do.
I never heard back from Carol Cooper. I emailed her, and then I emailed her yesterday of the one you sent me. Then when I put her name in my email today, it came up Carol.Cooper at Fayette. So I was like, well, I'll send it to that one as well. So I sent it to both.
Okay.
That's why it said, hey, if you didn't get my message yesterday, let me know.
Yeah. That first email last month at the end of the meeting, when I forwarded the information to the parents about the new SBDM trainings, she responded back. She was like, well, I saw her at TJ Maxx, and she was like, oh yeah, okay. So I assumed she was getting it through her personal email.
She didn't respond, so I was like, oh.
And I'm not sure if Ashley is going to be participating with us today. I really wasn't expecting her to.
Yeah.
So we have like 2 minutes. So we're good.
You may have already said this, but who is your child, Mr. Anderson?
It's Alec Anderkin, ALEC. He's in the he'll be in 7th grade. He's in Spanish Emergent program.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I also discovered while we were waiting, I also discovered that this street has a lot of children close to Abby's age, and they're mesmerized by her because she's so tall. And the first day after signing the paperwork and coming over to the house, we were just trying to drop off some of the boxes, and we were inundated with like 6 kids.
They help.
No, they wanted to meet. They wanted to meet Abby, my daughter. They were asking questions. They were like, "She's going into 3rd grade." My daughter's like 5'2".
Oh, wow.
3rd grade, yeah. So she's very shy, and it was a little much for her. And so she hides, and she's like, "Mommy, I don't really want to play with them." And I was like, "You'll eventually play with them, but it is, you know, when you're first moving in and like kids are in your face, like, hey, come play with me." And that's what took me so long to let you in, Mr. Anakin, because I had to go to the door because they kept knocking on the door. Is Abby home?
I don't know where she's at.
I was like,
That's always
Well,
the most awkward feeling in the world, isn't it? When the kid doesn't want to go out and the kid's on the front door, and you're like, I'm not letting you go out right now.
Right. And I'm like, it's COVID-19. Why are these kids running around wanting to play with my child? Like, okay. But anywho. Okay, so the time is now 5:01, and I will go ahead and call this meeting to order. This is our first meeting of our new fiscal year. And I want to introduce everybody to Travis Anderkin, our new parent. We also have Carol Cooper. I didn't hear back from her one way or the other, so I'm assuming that she still gets the emails, and the original time email I sent out, she said that she did get that. But Carol Cooper is also the other parent that is on our council for the 2021 school year. We have Kathleen Moore, who is our secretary. Abigail Dago is 6th grade Spanish immersion math teacher. I'm going to have you teaching science. That's what I'm on my mind, because we need a science teacher. And Shelly Albright, who is our restorative practice instructor. You like that title, don't you? Oh.
Yes.
And so she has some counseling background, and she works with our students that were placed in our formerly known as the safe room, but we are going to change it over to the restorative practice, because we're going to work on that social emotional and get those kiddos back in the classroom and changing those behaviors. So we also have, who is not with us, is Ashley Sear. She is a 7th grade math and language arts teacher on the traditional side. So he is not able to be with us this evening. So the first item on our agenda is to look at our June 10th minutes and review that. And if everybody has their documents. Does everybody have their documents?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do I need to share my screen, or does it? Okay. I don't need to share? Okay.
No.
I'm trying to make this screen go away now. Okay, there we go. So the first line item was that the meeting, we started at 5:02. We approved the May 13th SBDM meeting minutes. A motion to approve the minutes was made by Sear, as well as seconded by Ms. Ferguson, our outgoing parent SBDM member. We did not have any old business. Our new business was to look at our professional development plan and approve that for the 2021 school year. I shared that with the committee. There were 2 items for the entire staff to complete: the Bearcat 101 and the second steps professional development, which is that social emotional learning curriculum that was adopted by the district and approved back in January of 2020 by our SBDM committee. The remaining 18 hours that certified teachers are required to obtain 24 hours of professional development. So the remaining 18 hours would be completed independently by teachers to meet their individual needs. There are various professional developments that are provided through the district, and a lot of those began already. Each individual teacher has to complete a form to document how they will complete their required 24 hours, and that was submitted by the end of the school year, 1920 school year. Ms. Santiago requested training on the plan book, which is a new tool that the school has purchased for this coming school year, where teachers will upload their lesson plans and any documents that would be attached to that, so we'd have access for parents and students to see what's going on with the classes. And we felt like this would be a good tool to have as we move forward into the unknown, as we call it, of our 2021 school year. Ms. Albright made a motion to approve the 2021 professional development plan, and Ms. Labro seconded it. The second line item on the new business was reviewing the Impact Kentucky Working Conditions Survey. And sharing that, I discussed with the committee about some of the neutral responses, because it was 1 through 5. And we found that a lot of our staff, and it was for all certified staff to complete, a lot of our staff chose the 3, and through the training discovered that when you choose the middle of the road, it does not help. It actually goes towards the other end, and I won't say help. It's not scored as a favorable, it's scored towards the needs of improvement. So we found that a lot of the questions were in the middle of the road. So we talked about ways on training the staff on how to appropriately respond so as not to just stay in the middle of the road. Also shared that there were areas of concern or areas to focus on for opportunities to grow with school climate and management of student behavior. An action plan to implement in that area, to share data with the teachers as we come back to the new school year. We'll have a culture committee to address those concerns and take a pulse throughout the school year, which I think into this new school year will be very vital, because we do want to see how the social emotional curriculum is helping. We also want to get a pulse of how students and staff are feeling with whatever plan that is put in place as we come back. And I think that was it for the impact. Also, we went into a closed session. So at that time, we went into closed session at 5:52, where we discussed budget and staffing. And I updated the committee on the given positions that were still vacant for the 2021 school year. And then at 57, the closed session was ended. We talked about other business. We shared about the new parents that have been elected to serve on this committee, and that I would be reaching out to those parents about the upcoming training for new SBDM members. And then there was no public comments, and the meeting was adjourned at 6 p.m. Are there any questions about the minutes?
I move we accept the minutes as is.
Okay, Ms. Albright has moved that they accept the minutes as written.
I second the motion.
Thank you, Ms. Santiago, for seconding the motion. All right, so that completes line item 1. Line item 2, we need old business at this time. So we will move on to new business. The first line item on our new business is devising a meeting schedule for the 2021 school year. So presently we are meeting on Wednesday, the second Wednesday of the month at 5 o'clock. So this will open up the floor to discussion. Do we want to maintain that time frame and date, or do we want to change?
It's fine with
For me, that works.
Okay. It's all right?
Yeah.
Works.
Mhm.
It works.
Okay. So we need to make a motion to vote on our time schedule staying second Wednesday of the month at 5 p.m.
We need to make a motion for that, is what you said?
Uh-huh.
I make a motion that we
Vote.
second, or that, okay, yeah, that we vote. Sure.
Okay. So all of those in favor of the Wednesday, second Wednesday of the month at 5 p.m., say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay. All opposed? It is unanimous with 4. Okay. We'll move on to our second line item, the legally required annual SBDM council documents and reporting. So should have received those documents. I'm going to share my screen with you. The first item is your duty under the law. Everyone received that document, correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. So this document has all of your responsibilities and rights as a council member, and it talks about Open Records Act, and then sample forms in there, okay? I will not read all 24 pages to you, but you see that it's there.
Thank you.
Okay, I lost it. Here we go. Okay. And then, so this document is the document that I would have to print out and return to the Attorney General's office, stating that I have shared with you your duty under the law and managing public record, which is another document that was a hyperlink that you could click on. And I will return that at the end of this meeting. I will complete this form and submit it. You did also receive this document, proof of a receipt. If everyone could please complete the bottom portion stating that you did receive your duty under the law and managing public records. This document will stay in-house. It does not go to the Attorney General's, but I do need a copy of this with our minutes for this fiscal year.
What email was that a part of? Because I don't
have that one.
You don't have that one?
No, the proof of receipt, no.
The one that we have, Ms. Kirby, is the certificate of distribution. That's the email that I have. Let me see here.
Right here, this email, proof of receipt.
Oh, it's on the thing.
I got
about
it. I got you.
It's a hyperlink that.
Yep.
I see it. Yeah. Okay.
So you have your duty under the law, managing government records, and then you have the proof of receipt and all of that. So if you fill that out and scan it and email it back to me, then I can get it to Kathleen and she can put it with our documents.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I don't think I have it.
You don't have this email? Yeah.
It's in the
Yes,
email
yes,
with
I got it. I got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's at the bottom of that email.
Do you need this from me as well or no?
No, I don't need that from you, proof of receipt from you.
No.
Only the SBDM members. I think Kathleen's frozen. Okay, we'll move on to line item 3, the review of the bylaws. So our bylaws for Bryan Station Middle School, Article 1 is the statement of purpose. The SBDM Council of Bryan Station Middle School is the policy-making body of Bryan Station Middle School. Using a shared decision-making process, the SBDM Council shall develop policies that foster partnership with parents and the community that support the vision and mission of Bryan Station Middle School. Our vision is to instill pride, positive, respectful, integrity, dedication, and excellence. Our mission is to empower all students to reach their fullest potential and succeed in a diverse society through positive relationships and meaningful instruction. Article 2, the membership. So the composition, the council shall consist of 1 administrator, 3 teachers, 2 parents. The council shall be expanded if no minority member is elected, as directed under the KRS 160.345 law. Qualification for membership. All members, no one may serve on the council who has a legal conflict of interest as defined by the KRS Chapter 45A. Current and past council members who continue to meet the other requirements of this section are eligible to be to additional terms unless they are removed from office under the provision stated in Section E, which is below. Teacher members. To serve as a teacher member of the council, one must hold a position at the school that requires a state certificate and is assigned to the school. One must also not hold a position of principal or associate principal. The parent members. To serve as a parent member of the council, one must be the parent, step-parent, or foster parent of a student or a person who has legal custody of a student pursuant to the court order and with whom the student resides. The parent member shall have a child enrolled at Bryan Station Middle School during the term of council service. A parent member shall not be a member of Bryan Station Middle School or a relative of Bryan Station Middle School employee. Additionally, a parent member shall not be an employee who works at Fayette County Central Office or a relative of an employee who works at Central Office. Parent member shall not be a local school board member or the spouse of a local school board member. Relative shall mean father, mother, brother, sister, husband, wife, son, daughter, uncle, aunt, son-in-law, and daughter-in-law. Minority members must meet either the teacher or parent member qualifications and be American Indian, Alaskan Native, African American, Hispanic, including persons of Mexican, Puerto Rican, Cuban, Central and South American origin, Pacific Islander, or other ethnic groups underrepresented in the school. Election teacher members. Using the procedures adopted in the teacher election guidelines and procedures found in this teacher handbook, elections of teacher members of the SBDM Council will take place at a special call faculty meeting no later than May 15th, the date to be determined annually by the teacher elected committee. Parent members, elections of the parent members shall be conducted by the Bryan Station School Parent Teacher Student Association using a process determined by that organization. It is recommended that the PTSA follow the procedures set forth as follows. The election will be held in April to May. The principal shall assist the PTA in alerting parents to the election schedule. Parent elections shall be by the largest number of votes, and nominations must be made in writing to the PTSA president no later than 5 school days before the election. Additional minority members in the event that the school has 8% or more minority student population and after the election process there is no minority member, additional members shall be elected as provided below. Minority parent election. The principal shall notify all parents of an additional election. Parents shall nominate and elect 1 additional parent minority member on a date set by the principal. The minority teacher election. The principal shall notify all teachers of their right to select 1 additional member to the council. If no minority teacher is willing to serve on the school council, then the minority teacher member position remains vacant. If there are no minority teachers assigned to the school, then the teachers may elect a non-minority teacher member to this extra council seat. Teachers are allowed to select the voting method for this election. It is recommended that the teacher permit the principal to set the date and time for the teachers' meeting to elect an additional teacher member, following the appropriate procedures given in section C1 above. Standards of conduct for council members. Attendance. Members shall attend all council meetings. Members who are unable to attend a meeting shall only be excused if they notify the chair in advance. Oh, and I'm the chair, just so everybody knows. Of the 3 unexcused absences from regular meetings shall resign. Conflict of interest. No member shall enter into any business dealings that creates a conflict of interest under KRS Chapter 45A, and any member who discovers the existence of such a conflict of interest shall resign. Maintaining membership. Any member of the council who does not maintain his or her status as a qualified council member throughout their term, as outlined in Article Section B, must resign. Improper meeting. No combination of 4 members of the council shall meet to discuss council business without following the procedures for scheduling a meeting of the full council. Criminal conduct. Any member of the council who is convicted of a misdemeanor, felony, after his or her election to the office shall be asked to resign. It will be up to the Commissioner of the Education whether to seek removal if the person refuses to resign. Non-quorum meetings. A meeting of fewer than a quorum, as defined in Article 6, Section A of council members, is illegal if it is part of a series of meetings that together involve 4 or more members of the participants in the series of meetings intended to discuss or act on council business. Provision does not prohibit members from meeting to educate one another on a specific issue. And then the removal of any member, members. Any member who has violated any of the standards of conduct and who does not submit written resignation from the council shall be subject to removal using the procedures outlined in the KRS 160 law. Methods for filing vacancies on the council. If a parent member of the council resigns or is removed from the office, a special election shall be not more than 1 month after the vacancy occurs, using the procedure stated in section C above. The person elected in the special election shall serve for the remainder of the term of the person being replaced and shall be eligible for re-election to a full term. If a teacher member of the council resigns or is removed from the office, a special election shall be held not more than 1 month after the vacancy occurs, using the procedure stated in section C above. The terms. The term of the parent shall begin July 1 and end June 30th of the next year. Teacher member shall serve a 2-year term beginning July 1, 2018. Between the date of the election and July 1, the members elected are urged to attend all council meetings. Members are eligible for re-election to consecutive terms.
Does that year need to be taken out of that? Because it's not 2018.
Well, that's the year that this law, or not law, but this term was added.
Okay, never mind.
So that's just to indicate that that's when it was added in. That's why we put it in there.
Gotcha.
And then the Article 3, officers of the council, the chair, the principal shall be the chair of the council. He or she shall have all of the responsibilities specified in these bylaws and shall also be responsible for maintaining a file of all the correspondence addressed in the council. The custodian of records, the principal shall also be the custodian of council records. The vice chair, if the council is increased proportionately, the associate principal shall serve as vice chair. The vice chair shall preside at any council meeting that the principal is unable to attend. And we have the secretary, Ms. Moore, who shall be selected by the council for each meeting. The secretary does not have to be a member of the council, but must be willing to perform the duties of the office. If the secretary is not a member of the council, he or she may be appointed by the principal. The secretary shall perform the duties specified in Article 6. The secretary shall not be the chair or the vice chair. And then the functions. Is it really necessary for me to read all of this?
There's a whole lot more pages.
I know. Did everybody have an opportunity to read over this and your roles and duties and responsibilities, the requirements?
And I just went through 6 hours of training Monday and Tuesday. So
You know this. You're ready to teach a class all by yourself.
memorized it. Yes.
Okay. This is standard. This came from KASC. And so we are following the template that was provided. So those are our functions. Remember the pillars. Did you all do pillars? Did you do the chair with the stool?
We did the stool.
Okay. So you understand it's the big umbrella things. We
Yep.
don't get down into the weeds. Okay.
Yep. Even took a quiz on it.
Yeah. I remember that. The disallowed activities, things that we're not allowed to do are listed there. The scheduling of the meetings, we have already done that. Special called meetings, that follows the expectations. If we ever need to call a special call meeting that's out of the rotation of our regular scheduled meeting. And then our conduct of a meeting, quorum. This is very important for everybody to know. A quorum is a majority of the members of the council, half of the members plus one. So we have a quorum, including at least one parent, one teacher, and one administrator for the council to meet. And we've got that. All right, and making sure that we all attend our meetings. If you're unable to meet, then just shoot me an email and I will make a, like usually Kathleen sends out a message at the beginning of the week and she'll let me know who's not gonna be able to be here. If we ever have to go into closed session, then I will announce that we are now gonna go into closed session. Any information that is discussed during closed session stays in closed session. And we don't share that out. We don't discuss it outside of our meeting. Materials to be brought to the council meeting. We're in the day and age of technology, so everything's being pushed out electronically, but normally we'll have binders when we meet face to face. Each time the secretary shall bring the binder, he or she maintains to hold copies of the council's bylaws, policies, annual budget, monthly spending reports, and minutes. And then the agenda is sent out. It says it's supposed to be sent out 8 working days before the council meeting. We'll get better with that. It's a little difficult right now to do that.
No,
but
it says that if you want to put something on the agenda, you have to have it to you 8 days before.
Okay, thank you. Because I was skimming. I was like, I don't want to read this whole thing. But if you wanted something, if you want something added, it has to be 8 days before. We can't wait till the day of to add something. I remember that from 2 years ago. And then discussing of the agenda items. It must be fully discussed by the council before any decision is made. Non-council members shall be provided an opportunity to discuss issues under consideration by the following procedure. There's a sign-in sheet. We also added, that's why we have a comment section, and we have, once people sign in, if they have a communication that they want, then that's their time to have questions or comments. And then we have to have a consensus decisions and failure to reach consensus, and this is what we must do. Okay. And then if there's any amendments to the bylaws, then this is the procedure that we must follow. The appeals process and the fiscal management. Did everybody read through this already?
Most of it.
Okay. And then we have the standing committees and the policy development and review. Okay, so those are our bylaws. Any questions about any portion of it? And like you said, Mr. Anakin, you just went through the 6-hour new SBDM member, and it's a lot. But we follow that same template that comes
Right.
from them, so that we're in compliance.
Gotcha. She did a great job. Miss Keene did a great job.
Okay. All right. All right, so the next thing that, if there are no changes or concerns, everybody okay with our bylaws the way they stand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I need a motion to vote to keep our bylaws as written.
I move to keep the bylaws as written.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, all opposed? All right, 4 has it. Okay, the next line item is the review of the 2021 Comprehensive School Improvement Plan. And I do need to share with you, let me see if I can find it. That's so much open. There we go. Okay, so our comprehensive school improvement plan, because of COVID-19, and we were out of school, well, we weren't in face-to-face school from March 13th, well, actually it was March 16th through the end of the school year. We did not have the state assessment this year. So in the past, we were identified as a 3-star school with the ATSI indication. And it's like additional targeted support and intervention. And basically what that means is that we had a subgroup of students, our English learner subgroup, that did not come out of TSI status from the 18-19 school year. So through that, we had a great deal of support from Fayette County as well as the Kentucky Department of Education. And we had the partnership with the Kentucky ABRE that came in and had visits with our school and into our classrooms and did some observations and gave us some feedback. And we had different strategies and action plans that we put into place last school year to support our English learner students. As part of that, we included in our comprehensive school improvement plan a targeted area. So we still have, and I received an email, Ms. Santiago brought to my attention, the dates have not been updated, but we have been told thus far, we have been told thus far that the same plan carries forward. We will still have that ATSI label or status for our English language learners until there is a state assessment next school year, possibly. So therefore, our goals for and everything stays the same. We do need to go in and update the dates because it does say on some of the things like for the 2020 school year, and it just needs to change to the 2021 school year. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention. So our first goal is our proficiency goal, and that is to increase the percentage of combined reading and math proficient and distinguished scores from 49.6 to 57.9 by 2025. And then you have your objectives, your strategies and activities, and measure success and our ways that we would progress monitor. And then our next was the separate academic indicators, and that is our science, social studies, and on demand. And we said that our goal was to increase the percentage of students meeting proficiency in those areas from 50.4% to 50.4% for the 2025 year. The reason why we did not have like a baseline score was because the standard of assessment changed, and this was the first data point. So that is why we have 1. Unlike with reading and math, we've had that consistently throughout the years. And then our achievement gap, our goal was to increase the percentage of students in 1 or more gap groups scoring proficiency in reading and math to 50% by 2025. And that too is because the assessment or the way that we look at our goals changed. And we don't have, this was our baseline year from the 18-19 school year. And so we have our objectives, strategies, activities, and measures of success and progress monitoring. Then growth, reduce the percentage of students scoring novice in reading and math from 21.3% to 10% by 2025. And because of the ATSI status, we were required to add another goal, which was specifically to the area of need, which was our English learner population. And so the goal was set at increasing the percentage of EL students attaining growth on access from 57.7% to 75% by 2025. And then we had to outline how we were going to get there. Activity or strategies are activities and measures of success and progress monitoring. And then we had the special consideration, also, how are we going to turn it around? And so these are things that we had to consider. And this was the response, and then the identification of the critical resource inequities, as well as targeted subgroup and evidence-based interventions that we were going to apply. And any additional actions that address the consistently underperforming subgroups of students. So we had that. And then in January, we had to present this to the board and obtain approval. Not really approval, but to share it with the board, because our superintendent, Manny Cock, basically said, you have an SBDM and they've already approved this. So I just wanted to share that with you because we had members and make you aware of that. Any questions about the comprehensive school improvement plan?
Ms. Kirby, is there a different, me being a parent of a Spanish immersion student, is there a different criteria, score side of things when you said English learning? Is there a different criteria involved with that?
Yes, this is students who have a first language is not English. Okay. So students that are in the immersion program, we have students that their first language is not English and they're learning Spanish. So that doesn't affect this. This is for students who may be first year, second year, third year new to the country.
Gotcha, okay.
And they provide supports through having a specific EL teacher that supports with laying the foundation with vocabulary acquisition, and also supporting with like providing vocabulary opportunities for those kids to learn the basic, like either academic vocabulary or content vocabulary prior to going to the actual classroom to receive direct instruction from the English language teachers.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's part of the brainchild on why we started to shift from immersion to dual language, because studies show that students that are exposed to students who are native speakers tend to grow in their language. And then also the reverse, that when students who are heritage speakers are exposed to students who are English speakers, and then in those classes are able to learn from each other.
Gotcha.
You probably didn't want to hear all that, but yeah, that's basically the mindset behind the dual language.
Gotcha.
So one of the charges that I would like to see for this year is that we'll be looking at this plan periodically throughout the school year, and to see if we're on par to course and also looking at data to see if we are making growth or strides in the right direction to support our English learner students. Okay. All right. All right, so that comprehensive school improvement plan has already been approved, so that is not something that was a line item that we needed to vote on. It's just something I wanted to share out. So that brings us to other business. Is there any other business?
I have
No.
a question.
Yes, ma'am.
We received an email that the classes were going to start on August 24. So the PD plan for the starting of the school, all that changes the dates for training for teachers.
We are not holding fast to those dates that are on the PD plans, just the events. And I knew that going in, but we were required to complete that PD plan just because of what I was seeing from KDE and the CDC and the World Health Organization. I was like, okay, we'll go ahead and do this document. But I'm saying as a school, we'll hold fast to those events, but the date will shift. So basically the information that I have received thus far was that they're going to push school back 2 weeks. And that's going to afford our teachers and staff to receive the training that they need in order to have kids to come back into the school in the safest manner. So during those 2 weeks, there's going to be district provided professional development and how to teach fully, as well as how to prepare your classrooms for the most healthy and safest way, is what I was told.
So does that mean pushing back school from August 24th into September?
Oh no, school was supposed to start on the 12th. So
Okay.
there's
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
the
Okay.
start date
My
from the
apologies.
12th.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's okay. To the 24th. So it's just 2 weeks later.
Gotcha.
Like Jefferson County is starting the 26th. And I believe because they are starting the 26th, in order to have the 171 days, they won't be out until June. And the ideology behind that in Fayette County was that we did not want to go to school in June because of various reasons. And so starting the 24th will allow for us to still have an end date for students before June is over, because the governor has already approved, well, I'd say KDE and the governor has already approved our NTI, emergency NTI plan. So in the event that there is a surge in COVID cases and we need to close school, or if there are snow days, we will use NTI during those times in which we're out of school. So therefore, it doesn't take away from the number of days. And we also have been afforded the reprieve from ADEA, which is the average daily attendance. And so the state is not holding us to that as they have done in the past. So I'm not sure how that's going to look. I don't know if we're going to track attendance, participation the same way we did in the spring, but hopefully we'll hear something soon. I know the survey went out to the families starting probably about a week or two ago. Mm-hmm. And then today I received a text message for the staff to fill out the survey. I don't know if you all have received that, Santiago, or.
I got one. We got one at like 3:30 to do a survey.
Okay. So I encourage everybody to fill out those surveys, be it as honest as possible, to get that feedback to the district. So that's where we are. I know the last district leadership meeting with principals, we were told that we might have an idea of what model or plan we're going to use by July. I think it was July 14th is what I calculated up, because when she said it, she was like in about 3 weeks. So that was supposed to be around the same time that we would have the Superintendent Leadership Institute for all principals, all administrators. And I believe that if they're still having that, that's going to be virtual or Zoom. So I don't know if we're going to get more information, but with the staff just now getting the survey and it's already July 8th, I'm not sure if that date is still holding fast. But that's where we are. Do you want to share your suggestion, Ms. Santiago, about in the event if we choose that model number 3?
Oh, the one that I typed?
Yes.
Or what I think? Okay, what I was saying is that usually in Spanish immersion, the kids, that's what I know. So that's why I'm going to speak about Spanish immersion. We always have the kids mixed, so they don't go in groups. They don't go in the same group. So what I'm saying is it will be easier if we just keep them in groups, because it's easier to track them, to see that the same kids are going to school these days and the same kids are going to school the other day. Also, the only thing is when they're taking elective, then you cannot track, because let's say in my class, one of the kids is sick. So you already know is this group of kids, it's the ones that are sick, and which kids are mixing with the other kids. The way we have it is that they all go mixed with each other. And then it's going to be very difficult because even the teachers can move.
Right.
So it provides, it's not the ideal because we want them to get along with everybody, but it's more easier in a constant way that starts spreading them all around, because we don't know who can get sick.
Right.
Like, let's say one of the kids at Spanish immersion is sick. So you know that is the area that you have to move to virtual, or the other way. Let's say it's from traditional. It's easier to move when you know where are they. I think that's what I'm trying to explain in the email. I don't know that. And then
yes, it makes more sense now what you were saying.
Yeah, and then in my class, because I'm sorry. In my classes, because I have accelerated kids, that's what I was saying, to keep in like the way my classes are structured, because I have 2 regular classes. I have one set of class that the kids need more help, which will benefit in all the classes. And then I have 2 accelerated class, which means that will benefit also in the other teachers, because then they can go more faster with them, because usually they're good in everything, not only in math. They're good on Spanish and English, so that will also benefit, even though it's an homogeneous classes. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to.
I do.
So,
See,
so
I
guess to catch me up, does that mean not having the electives and keeping them in that Spanish immersion program, so you can track them to make sure they're not? Am I making sense there? As far as, is that what you're saying, Ms. Santiago?
No, I think it's just
what I'm saying is that when, let's say in science, the kids are taking science and then they move to my class, they don't go entirely to my class. They get spread out to goes to Spanish, that same class. They spread out between our 5 teachers. What I'm saying is to keep the same students, and that way that same group goes to another teacher and the other teacher moves around instead of spreading all the kids all around.
Now I'm following you.
Because usually they never walk in blocks. They always spread out with all the students, all the Spanish immersion kids.
And the same thing with traditional. I mean,
yeah, it will be the same. It will be the same model. It's like the model, and that way it's easier for the bus, because you know, let's say they divide in A and B. So, you know, all the 8 kids, if that's the area that one of them got sick, it doesn't matter if it's traditional or Spanish immersion, it's easier to track than the mixing all them, because you want all those classes to be mixed.
Right.
That's what I was thinking.
And that
And
makes
let's
sense.
take the math model, because they're already by the math scores. And that benefits also the other kids, you know, the other teachers.
It might help hallway exchanges too, where if you're, you know, and they're going to go with this whole group goes to the exact same place. If this group moves on, the next group moves in instead of them all out in the hall. I don't know.
Yeah. These are all things that we are ready to start planning for, but we don't know what
What it's going to look like. I do
Yeah,
like your
because
idea though. That is a good idea from a contact tracing side of things, of where something originated. If one of the kids does get sick and gets the virus, you can at least know of the 20 kids that you're going to have to either A, get tested, or B, you can notify the parents of somebody within that group. If you spread them out, that's going to be a lot tougher. That is true.
Yeah. And we have to take that in consideration that our population has grown exponentially over the past 3 years. I guess that's a good problem to have. And maybe this COVID-19 is actually going to help us, because if we're only supposed to have 50% of the kids in the building, that means we only have 420 kids.
420, so we have
like 847.
Yeah. And a couple years ago, we had 600 and something. Wow.
Yeah, what was that? 2016, 2017, I think there were 500 kids, like before I came, because I was looking at the numbers. I was like, I can handle that. I had that at Beaumont, just with being the administrator over a grade. And then it was like that first year was like, oh, you have 700. And then it would drop down to like 600. And then last year it was almost 800.
another concern I have is because at least in math, I'm talking about experience. In math, I have to talk all day because I have to explain and answering questions. So I don't know how a kid can hear me with a mask, because it's
The
probably
CDC did come back with, once you're in the classroom, you don't have to wear the mask. Because
with the kids inside the classroom.
the kids are separated out 6 feet away from each other. I don't know how you're going to do that in all those classrooms, but theoretically on paper, the CDC put out be separated 6 feet. And when they're in the hallways transitioning, you should have your mask on. But once you're in the classroom, you do not have to have your mask on.
There's no way we can get like the plexiglass thing. I mean, the flexi,
Yes.
I mean,
You could get one if you want. You can talk to Miss Duncan and she can make you one and bedazzle it.
I have a nephew. I have a nephew that makes it. That they make them. So we need to order some.
I know that they're looking into that because I'm friends with the purchaser.
So they're looking to the plexiglass mask.
He's getting lots of quotes for that stuff. Yes.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Hopefully we won't be like Toyota, because at Toyota they make them wear a mask and the shield.
Yes, I talked to him. Yes, I was at work and a parent called and I had like a 25-minute conversation with him. Like, we're so starving for communication with anybody. And he was like, I work at Toyota and people are passing out because they're required to wear the mask and the shield and you can't understand each other. And that was one of my big concerns at the beginning, was like, if everybody's supposed to wear a mask, I can't understand anybody. And I know they can't understand me, especially when you have a certain register of voice, deeper voice, it's difficult to understand when you have that mask on. So,
and that's when you're talking to another person. Imagine a teacher that has to talk to the kids who are in the back. Project, thank you. So it's going to be very difficult. I'm going to be planning my things digitally. That way it helps them because they will have on computers. I hope the new students are coming from fifth grade to sixth grade, they have Chromebooks? Or do you know if they have Chromebooks? Are they gonna have Chromebooks?
Not coming from Liberty, they do not have Chromebooks.
Are we
Not
going to be able to
coming
get
from
the
the
ones back from the eighth graders?
We got a lot from the 8th graders back. They were off as late as mid-June. Parents were just coming up saying, we don't need this. They're going on to high school. And I was like, well, we were told that you could keep it. And they're like, no, I don't want that liability. I was like, okay. So Amy Johns, who's over technology, said, we're not worried about it. We'll get them. We did earmark Title I funds in the event, but the matter of getting them here in a timely fashion before school, I don't know. Like, I'm waiting till we get to, which, you know, it's August and school starts, but that's when Ms. Brewer comes back and she can start inventorying and determining how many we got back.
Do we know if the district is gonna provide masks for the kids and teachers?
I saw an
The
email that
equity,
stated
the equity,
that they were going to provide 2 masks per student and staff members. Did you hear that as well, Ms. Moore? So
Two
the
masks
district,
like per week or per just?
per day?
no, 2.
Are they? I'm assuming they're going to be like washable ones, like reusable ones. Okay.
The email just said, principals do not start purchasing mass quantities of masks because the district is working on getting 2 masks per student and staff members.
Better order some extras.
Yeah, if it's any indication about the IDs.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know what they're planning on giving out, but I just know that they are. My husband is in the process of getting lots of bids from anyone in the PPE business, and he's got spreadsheets on his computer here about anybody and everybody that are selling them. So they're planning to do something. I don't know what.
There we go. That's our inside track.
It's like,
I feel like singing that's going to be my theme song. You know, Albright. Well, Miss Sandra, you were there my first year too. I was all about, it was We Are Family, and that was my theme song for that year. This year is going to be Into the Unknown from the Elsa soundtrack.
He says he's getting quotes. He says he's getting quotes for special ed department. He's not sure about others.
Oh. Okay.
Some schools are ordering their own face shields. He knows. But other than that, we're not sure yet.
Okay. Well, how about I do this? We start looking and getting some quotes because we do have some funds. And then at our next meeting, what's June, August, I might have to call a special call meeting if this is pressing enough that we want to and vote on it.
now, would this just be shields for the students or shields for the teachers? Or all the above for the teachers? Okay.
I have a meet and greet with our new chief. So the assistant superintendent, we have a new one. His name is Tracy Bruno. I think it's Bruno. He came from Wolford County Middle School. And so there's a meet and greet on Friday. So I'm pretty sure those are some questions that are going to be thrown at him during the meet and greet Zoom. So I'll get some answers. Yes, ma'am.
I was just gonna say that Mill Creek got a quote on the shields. They were between $2 and $2.25 per mask, and they were thinking about ordering them for their teachers. But as far as downtown, they haven't made any decisions what they're purchasing yet. So
Okay. So I will go ahead and start finding some quotes. And if I have them, is everybody in agreement? Like if we have to call a special call meeting to make this decision, that latter part of this month, if, you know, I'm able to get more information before our August meeting.
Yes, I have a
Yes.
question in terms of, you know, that the parents majority, they provide us with Kleenex and hand sanitizer. Are we gonna be able to, or the district's gonna be able to provide us more because we need to do more sanitation? Do you know?
Can't buy it anywhere.
Those are great questions, Ms. Santiago.
I'm just worried. I'm in the classroom, so I'm thinking everything already and how they're gonna go to lunch, if they're gonna be having the lunch in the side of the classroom.
Well, the information I read from the CDC said that they really didn't want them transitioning to cafeterias, that they would eat in the room. That was the last thing that I saw. Mhm.
It's gonna be a new journey.
Yes. Into the unknown.
Yes.
I'm telling you, that's going to be my theme song for this year. All right. Well, that's other business. Are there any public comments? We are on YouTube Live. I don't know if anybody's on there or not, but okay. Well, if all minds are clear, the time is now 6:01, and I will call this meeting adjourned. I want to gavel.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody. This was a very nice.
Yep.
Thank you.
I'll be sure to forward information on to our members who were not here and make sure that they're aware of all those things. But if anybody has their certificate for completion of training, SBDM training, if you would just scan it and email it to me, that way I can upload it into our SBDM portal through Fayette County.
As
How
for the
many
end,
hours I need?
You only need 3 because you're a experienced member.
I got the other one now. It's tomorrow. Can I
I know.
cancel
I think I'm gonna cancel mine as well.
it? Okay, so it's only 3 hours, right?
Yes, because I think we did the same one.
The leadership I did. That was the first one. I took the first one that I saw.
Yeah, I did the leadership one as well. I think I did leadership. I don't remember now.
I was on the second.
who's the leader on it tomorrow? Do you know who the leader is on it?
I got an email from a female.
Yeah.
Reminding me of it tomorrow. But I believe it was
Crystal Scott.
who?
Crystal Scott.
Yes, that's who sent the email to me as well for the one tomorrow. I'm not going to participate in that since I already did the one. What was that, the June 20 or the June with?
So how I cancel it, where I go?
Send an email to Daryl Thompson and let him know that you're unable to attend.
Okay.
Because I believe that the SBDM through Fayette County, they pay a fee for us to participate.
So Mr. Thompson, who?
Daryl Thompson.
Oh, Daryl. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
All right. You have a good evening.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.